Okay then guys, what is going on? Cloud Plays here and welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're inside of the first Descendant where we have got the Dev Notes Volume 7. Now this is the first communication that we've had since December 22nd, I believe, from Nexon with regards to this. So we're going to dive on in and see what it is that they're up to. They've got a ginormous article to go through, so this might be a lengthy video. My apologies in advance. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. On top of that, check out our sponsor Advanced GG, the #1 clinically proven energy supplement on the market. My favourite flavour is cherry vanilla, but you guys can catch an array of flavours via the link in the description. Utilise code CLOUD at checkout for a cheeky discount. And with that being said, let's dive on into some freaking First Descendant news finally. I'm so excited for this one. So they posted up a tweet 8 hours ago from recording stating, Dev Notes Volume 7 kicking off the year strong. Dive into exclusive insights from interviews with Lee Boy-jun and Min Seok Jo. I definitely butchered their names, I'm really sorry. Offering a behind-the-scenes peek in development. Get the scoop right here. And going into the article, this thing is just ginormous. But it does start off by saying, greetings Descendants, this is the first Descendant dev team. We started as first Dev Note early last year with an update from the first Descendant dev team, and we thought we'd get this year off strong start like last year. With varied news on what's going on with the first Descendant development. This Dev Note is based on highlights from recent media interviews with producer Lee Boy-jun and director Min Seok Jo. I'm just going to call him MJ for this video because bloody hell, that's just a mouthful. And it seeks to provide a behind-the-scene look at what the dev team is going through while working on the project. Now, it states right here a load of different areas. I'll leave the link in the description if you just want to read it, but we are going to break this down bit by bit, so apologies in advance. But it starts off right here by stating how the dev team have been doing. The crossplay open beta was amazing, but it left us with a lot of homework. So we chatted between ourselves saying, why is there such unrelieving feeling when the test went well? We believe it is because the fact that so many people are excited for the first Descendant, and it has made us feel even more accountable. As soon as the crossplay open beta test finished, we began planning for the game's launch. Based on the extensive feedback we received during the testing period, we worked hard to develop a plan of what we wanted to rectify and enhance before launching. We spent the rest of last year fleshing out the plan and beginning development, and before we could feel the end of year holiday season, we were already in 2024. Now there is a load of news right here about the Game Awards and then the Game Awards trailers and stuff like that. This is something that you guys can go ahead and read. It's not a massive one that's going to be coming from that, but they do go on to state right here, so when in the summer 2024, which is their alleged release date as of right now. This is when they've confirmed they're going to be launching the game, but no precise date right yet. They just state here, yes, the summer launch this year has been officially confirmed in the Game Awards trailer. However, we are currently finalizing the actual release date and our future plans, so please bear with us a little while longer. But I don't want to. I just want the game now. I'm so excited for this title. It looks so damn good, and the beta was actually incredible for those of you who played it. But we state right here, how are the 110,000 comments received from the crossplay open beta test being incorporated? They state, we received a ton of feedback, but we were able to clearly identify what needs to be done after reviewing everything. Among them were the story, as well as problems with empty fields, a challenging environment for co-op, repetitive content, etc. Oh, and a lot of people requested to make the grappling hook better, which is baffling because the grappling hook was absolutely incredible and they'd already enhanced that once before. But they go on to state right here that the dev team was able to better prioritize the work that needed to be completed before the launch thanks to these feedbacks, which also helped us identify the challenging but crucial issues. About 200 employees are currently working in various roles in preparation for launch, and the teams are working on several small to big issues simultaneously, and we're extremely focused on ensuring that it all comes together in one piece. We've been working on dubbing the recently revised lore, which is going through significant changes as a result of the feedback we received during the crossplay open beta test. A small spoiler so be careful of this one. Just skip ahead 15 to 20 seconds maybe if you don't want to hear this. Descendants will work with the main character to complete objectives and make significant appearances as NPCs in the main story. Additionally, we're developing original storylines for Descendants to give them more character and narrative depth. Along with the story improvements, we're also preparing richer in-game cinematics. Since the first Descendant received a lot of attention for its amazing cinematics, please also look forward to immersive in-game story cinematics that we hope to deliver. I cannot wait for that. That was probably the best part about it for me. Although the gameplay was absolutely incredible, these sorts of games are kind of reliant on the storytelling, and they just did such a great job with the cinematic points inside of the game. I was really impressed. Now, one thing that none of us were really happy with, but they have now addressed it. What about the empty fields? Now, this one was a really difficult one for those of you guys who don't know. The fields and the actual life inside of the areas were absolutely dead unless you were in a mission, and it seems like they have actually done this. So this is also a hot topic. To be honest, it combines both technical constraints and genre traits. Combining the open world, shooter and online game genre was one of the hardest things the dev team had to create in the first Descendant. With the ability to shoot from distances of 100 meters and up to 150 meters, shooters are a genre distinguishing by an extremely broad arrangement range. It was a great challenge to accommodate a large number of players while maintaining synchronization between a monster AI and games inside this range. Furthermore, it was challenging to define the players' paths of entry due to the open fields. Furthermore, the genre prioritizes the sensation of shooting over all other considerations. The character needs to react quickly to hit and fire right away when they pull the trigger. So in our defense of fields looking empty, we have so far avoided having a lot of moving AI in the open field for the sake of the online play and shooting, but we are solving this problem because the fields in the previous crossplay open beta test received a lot of feedback. Thus, we significantly made changes to the fields to minimize the area where battles occur. We have divided the fields into smaller sections and incorporated a variety of non-mission content in between. These include out-of-combat content and enemies that defend their bases regardless of the missions. Yes! Incredible. Brilliant. That's answered our questions for that one. They go on to follow up with, while increasing the density of content in the fields with such changes, we're also working on increasing the density of players in a given space to facilitate co-op play. We're making adjustments so that it will be more likely to run into other players who are in the same mission, and dungeons now have matchmaking for smooth co-op play. It will also be possible to bring other players into your current mission through the request for help feature, so there is going to be more multiplayer support than before. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nexon, you are leathering this. This is incredible so far. All we need is a launch which is really, really like smooth, and that would be just brilliant. If we can get a smooth launch for this, so far, so good. And we've still got loads to go through with this one. So they talk about modules right here as well. They say that, well, first off, we believe the outcome was as good as it could have hoped for because the videos of content creators who participate in the crossplay open beta test show that they put a lot of thought into optimizing their builds using the modules. The idea behind the modules is to let you customize your build to get the most out of your specs and really realize your power fantasy with this character. In terms of how far we've come in that regard, we weren't quite there yet in the crossplay open beta. In large, the modules include ultimate modules and skill modules, which have the ability to change the nature of a build. But checking the data revealed at the modules utilization was somewhat skewed. It's possible that the short test period left little time to experiment and integrate the capabilities of various modules. But given that the development team's goal is to enable a range of build settings, the outcome was disheartening. In order to guarantee that every Descendant will have a unique module setting at launch, and that the same Descendant may have multiple module settings depending on their playstyle or main skill, we're making a number of changes. We think looter shooters are basically games where you assemble your own build and realize your power fantasy. And the only difference is that we also use guns for shooting. How you assemble the modules to create your build is important for the process, and we've received a lot of data from the 2 tests we've run, which are giving us answers on how we can improve the areas that are lacking, so we're confident that the game will be much better next time. I'm baffled. I'm so impressed with this so far. So good. We've got quite a lot of stuff to still address, including the end game content, characters created. It states right here how a character is created, and that is absolutely fine, although not something that you guys really need to worry too much about. If you want to find any more information about that, like I say, link is down in the description. Go and give it a check out. But we're talking about the end game content right here, because a looter shooter live service model is required to have a decent end game content, because if it doesn't have that, then it doesn't survive. But they state right here, we believe that the Intercept Void Battle was a component of the end game material you encountered. The Intercept Void Battles itself are compelled endgame content, in our opinion, especially when the hard setting steadily increases the amount of cooperation, strategizing, and mechanic breaking required. For the launch, we're creating more endgame content in addition to the Intercept Void Battles. Oh my god, the fields will now have hard difficulty. Better loot will be available on a higher tier difficulty when the main story in all 8 fields has been completed. All dungeons will have a system that supports matchmaking. Dungeons on hard difficulty also have a system where you can choose penalty options to challenge yourself on an even harder environment. The dev team intends to offer a variety of endgame content that suits the player's preference and farming locations. Thank you, Nexon. Thank you. Finally, a development team that are listening to the looter shooter genre and the community around it. These are Intercept Void Battles on hard difficulty that require party play, but there will be dungeons that can be enjoyed solo too. We're also working on various quality of life improvements to make it easier to replay various content. Implementing matchmaking in dungeons is one of them. On the other hand, we're also providing the private mode for players who don't want to be matchmade and with strangers in Intercept Void Battles and dungeons. Since we are live servicing game and content updates, we think the endgame contents will also need to be constantly updated regardless of how enjoyable the Intercept Void Battles are. Players may grow accustomed to them in such little as 3 months, and after 6 or 12 months they may lose their novelty. Because of this, we're also making plans for how we'll provide new in-game material throughout updates when it's required. Since it's a live game, I think the end game content should also continue to change. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So far, I am absolutely so invested in this game. It is insane, guys. I want to know your opinions down on this in the comment section below. We've still got 2 more little brackets to go through, and I'm really sorry because I know this is a long video, but we're going to get back into it right now. They state right here about consoles. We're putting in a lot of effort to improving the first Descendant's console gameplay. In the crossplay open beta test, we were new to consoles, so features like gamepad controls and optimization weren't up to par, and we intend to fix these issues. As we announced, we had a 5:5 ratio of console to PC users, which is quite a high ratio of console users for an online game. Thus, we're thinking a lot about providing additional care for both PC and console users. I believe there will be improvements in a number of areas, including the stabilization of performance optimization. We also intend to offer other features. And wrapping up, we wanted to share some of our recent work in this dev note, as well as more candid behind the scenes look at the first Descendant development in the future. We'll be releasing more dev notes covering a variety of topics. Please continue to support the feedback of the first Descendant, and we'll continue to respond to questions that you can address promptly through our community frequently asked questions. Thank you. Well, it's been point proven, and it's now been shown that there is companies out there that are willing to listen to the community of the looter shooter genre, and the live service models are not wasted when you actually listen to what your players genuinely want. For me, I am absolutely excited about this one, but we are nearly at a 15-minute video, so I'm going to just leave it there. We've covered everything we need to cover. Any extra details are in the description via the link. Let me know what you guys are thinking of the first Descendant, and if you're excited, leave a star in the comment section. I'm so gassed for this, and I can't wait to see what it is that they bring to the table next. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. Appreciate your faces, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.